So, stream should be online soon. Let me just make the announcement. Ooh. So we look at my dashboard. Oh, dashboard is online as well, and this is all looking good and fine. So minimize that, and pick up my controller, and let's jump straight into the game. Oops. And I think Sepik was the last place where we saved. This is looking good. Status. We're still level 5. Pretty close to level 6, and that's really where we have to go to. Just check real quick. Yeah. So, Fina is there as well, and that means we have to go back into the dungeon and find the dungeon key. Or, not the dungeon key, but the chest key that's in there. Ah, come. Leave me alone. This is one of the poor parts of this game, that the villagers are actually able to block your way. I do think I did get the colors right this time. I have to compare this later to how the stream previously looked. You're dead. Ouch. So I think what we're going to do now is, first of all, save the game again in the palace, and I think what would make sense at this point is to try to grind a couple of levels on the enemies inside the dungeon. It's a little bit difficult to do that here, because within the dungeon you do not restore your health. But as we saw, we did have quite a lot of trouble beating the blue ghosts. These blue flaming monsters, and that's something we really need to work on. So my on-call shift ended as well, so we have all the time in the world to continue our playthrough of Ys. Yeah, those guys. The problem really is that the enemies do not give you as much XP as I'd like to. Let's first check over here. I think we can explore the dungeon a little bit more in depth now. Hey Casey, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Right, I really just want to check out everything in the dungeon. Ah, crap. Yeah, you see the problem there? I'm already half dead. So we might die a lot at this point, because I'm simply not strong enough right now. But I just want to get through this floor, then I get out again, heal myself up, and what do I have here? I think this is locked. Yep. So we need the key to open that up. Oh crap. Nice. Got him. Nothing here. Well, let me quickly go out again, and maybe at this point we should probably also consider going back. Let's see if we can actually get... Oh crap. If we can actually get ourselves some better equipment. Particularly better armor. I think getting the reflex armor is kind of crucial at this point. Nope. It's a dead end. Ah, me and my poor orientation. Oh nice, we can actually recover in here, so let's do that. And then let's go back and forth and try to grind at least one level. I think that's important enough. It should go rather quickly if I look at this. Alright, and then once we have something like 10,000 gold or something like that, we will actually be able to go back into town and buy ourselves some new equipment. Also, I do believe that there is the silver shield inside this dungeon. Whoa, whoa, holy shit! That was not good. Sorry, I didn't pay too much attention there. But anyway, I think there's a silver shield in this dungeon, so we definitely have to find that, and we definitely have to get up to level 6 and buy ourselves better equipment, otherwise we won't make it through this dungeon. And I have no intentions of dying all the time. How much did that give, by the way? Oh, I think 10. Let's see. Oh. Quite a bit more than that, so this seems to be a great place to grind. Ah. Yeah, definitely. Those guys give a lot of XP at this point. But let's see if we can actually find the key and get back out alive again. Because the key was up here. I know that. I found it the last time and then died. Pretty standard stuff, right? This one is not an easy game, I can tell you that. It's not easy. Especially those flaming guys down there. Leave me alone. Right. Where did we go? Oh crap. Yeah, and I died. That's exactly what I mean. We really need to grind up. So let's first do that, otherwise we're going to die way too often. I think the ants are actually a fair bit stronger than the other guys and give you more XP. Those guys are easy to beat. Comes out the same thing, really. We're going back. Once we have that level up, we go back into town and see if we can get ourselves the good equipment. An enemy in here? Oh, no. Didn't come back yet. See if we can get ourselves the reflex armor. Somebody here? Yeah, this should go fairly quickly. The enemies in here are so strong. I think that's a good way to go. By the way, guys, one of my favorite RPGs, you mean besides Ys? Because Ys is definitely my favorite RPG, I have to admit that. Otherwise I really like Grandia, so pretty much everything that I'm playing on here are the games that I really like, except for sometimes when I'm just trying to get showcase a certain game, then I sometimes don't really know if it's good or if I like it or not. But Ys definitely is one of my favorite RPGs. Then comes stuff like Grandia. I also like Final Fantasy VIII. Quite a big fan of that. Oh, let me think. There are so many RPGs out there. Final Fantasy X was definitely an RPG I enjoyed a lot. Been quite a long time since I finished that. Really long time. Oh, let me think. What else there be? Nice, because this is the level up that I wanted. I'm really thinking right now what other RPGs I really like. Except the 2 Final Fantasy games. Ys, pretty much all Ys games are on my favorite list. Where is status? Oh, now we have 90 attack. That's quite a lot. And we have 4050 gold. I think if we go... We grind... Let's grind a little bit more. Let's save. Let's check our status again, and let's see, we have 3205 XP. Well, let's see how much XP they're giving us now. We can kill them with 1 hit. 40, still 40. So that means like 10 of those guys give us 400 XP. That's not too shabby. In terms of gold, we have 4100. If those guys give us more than 10 gold, then that's exactly where we're going to stay now. Yeah, we're going to stay here, and we're going to go through this dungeon now. Hopefully with a little bit more success, because we're now really strong compared to the guys on the first floor. So we can explore the area around here. Those are the prison cells. There's one trap in there. That was the prison cell of Fina. What I wonder about is that I always thought that you get the mask that shows you secret passageways in here. Oh yeah, those guys are still... Whoa, yeah, those guys are still totally overpowered. Oh, it was a third cell. Ah, and that's probably where the mask is. So that's where we definitely need the dungeon key. Or I think it's called chest key in this this version, the Master System version. Definitely have to get our hands on that. And over there's another chest. It's probably locked as well, but let's just go there. We want to grind levels, right? Whoa. What an annoying bastard. Yeah, so everything is locked down here. Which is why we need that bloody key. There's nothing else over here. Let's look inside here. Nice, got him. Got him. Nothing in here. I'm really sorry, but the beginning of Ys is a little bit grindy. I mean, it stops after level 10. Then you can't grind up anymore, and then you definitely need to have the good equipment. But once we reach level 10, I don't think anything can really stop us, and it should be about as difficult as any Ys game, or any version of this game can be. So comparable to, for example, the PC version or something like that. Let's heal up again. Oh, what's that guy doing down here? Shouldn't be here. Let me look this up. 4,780 gold. At least want to have 10,000 gold before I move on. Or move back rather. And while grinding that, we can probably make another level or so. I don't think Casey knows what Cohesive Waldeck is. Oh really? How is she doing? Hope she's doing well. Actually pretty funny how those guys can't hurt us anymore because we have such high defense value and the other guys are still wrecking us. That's what I mean with the little bit unbalanced difficulty level in the beginning of East, because later on, yeah, the enemies get a lot tougher. But then you will also get silver equipment, and once you have that, the normal enemies shouldn't be much of a problem anymore. Oh, that's nice. That's really good. I think that's great for her. Well, I mean, he is a nice guy. That's for sure. Really good dude, very dedicated to our church. Look at our status. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking really good. So just tell me if you really want me to move on and not play it safe like I'm doing right now. Then just tell me and I will move on. But right now I prefer to play it safe, grind money and grind XP, so that I'm able to just walk through this dungeon without worrying too much. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Right, I want to have this back bouncing effect on the green guys as well. That's why I'm not moving on. It should be just one level up, I think. Or is that this castle strike-like game? Yeah, and especially this game can be quite savage as well, I totally agree. And we're doing a full series on that. I actually didn't want to do a full series on East just yet. But then when I was still waiting for, you know, the whole doctor stuff for my blood results and everything, I felt so bad that I just couldn't play anything but East, because East is a game you can always pick up and enjoy. Even though it's tough as nails at times, but it's still a game that you can just pick it up and then pop some enemies like that, and it's just great fun. Right, there's really not too much that you have to worry about, and then I thought, you know, why not do a series on it? First of all, I do not have all that many Master System games, so if I just showcase all my Master System games for 1.5 hours or 2 hours maybe, then I will run out of games rather quickly, especially the ones that I know that I can't play them. You know? So I thought, why not do a series on East now, and then maybe we're going to do a series on different action-adventure games as well, and actually attempt to play through them on Master System Mondays. You know, stuff like Wonder Boy in The Dragon's Trap, or Wonder Boy in Monster World, which is actually my favorite of the Wonder Boy games for Master System. I then just really try to play through them. Instead of just showcasing the games, actually seriously attempt to play through them. And I think that could be a good thing. And I hope it's enjoyable. So we start with East, simply because that's the game I picked up last week, last Monday, when I was still feeling like crap. And it really helped me, you know, it's really a game that's good for your psyche, I'd say. Because it's just so cute. And I really think with that extended color mode of the capture card, the colors are now also a lot more vibrant than they were before. And one day I'm pretty sure I'm also going to get my open source scan converter or an XRGB mini, and then I can provide you even better quality output than that. But so far I'm actually quite happy with the RCA upscaler that I'm using. I mean, it was like 12 or 14 euros, something like that, and I think the output quality is fairly decent for most games, not for all games, but for most games. This is one of them, looks really nice. And the funny thing about this is also that Ys is one of the games that's really difficult to emulate. All the emulators that I've tried so far always bugged out with Ys. They work with all the other Master System games, no problem, no problem. But when I put in Ys, then they wouldn't load the sprites correctly. You know, you would get like some extreme flickering. Oh, come on. Whoa! That guy almost killed me. What an asshole. Probably a bad ROM, yeah, but it was the only ROM I found that actually worked. I had from several websites, I downloaded a couple of ROMs of Ys, and none of them worked, and the only one that worked would actually cause these issues with all the emulators that I have, either on my PC or on my Raspberry Pi. Which I think is a very good reason to play this game on legit hardware. Yeah, we're really close now. It actually does look a lot like Counter-Strike when I looked at the screenshots. I haven't tried it myself yet. One of the more recent games that I'm right now playing is World to the West. First of all, the developers of this game are really nice guys from Norwegia. And World to the West is a really nice action-adventure game actually. So if you're looking for a 3D action-adventure game that's fun, with funny visuals, funny story and everything, just good. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece or anything, but it's a solid game, very solid game, and it doesn't cost all that much. It's available on GOG. Then I would recommend World to the West. It's a really good game, like I said. It's quite nice, and the developers seem like they're actually really into making games and not just trying to make a one game in their whole life, make millions with that and just leave it. Right, they're also working on patches to improve on some of the details. I think I've already been here, right? They're all locked, yeah. They're also right now working on some of the details, you know, getting some hints into the game, because there are a couple of mechanics that are not explained within the game all that well, and then you can get stuck quite easily. Simply because you don't know that you're able to do a certain thing, and they're working on that right now to improve this. But like I said, really nice guys, they're also really active on Twitter. And for some reason, whenever a game developer is active on Twitter and I'm able to interact with them and they actually answer me when I ask them something, that's just amazing. It's like sympathy points over 9,000. So maybe I'm also going to stream World to the West at some point. Depends, like I said, on how we get with further on with the other series that I'm running right now. Like Worlds of Ultima, if I'm actually able to finish that game, I don't know. Right now I struggle with finding one of the villages in this game, and I simply can't find it. Hey, a Western Wednesday, yeah, exactly. World to the West Wednesday. Oh yeah, this is looking really good. I'm really happy that we went in here and started grinding like that. Because really one more level up and we're already at a point where we can probably finish the dungeon just like that. And if we're able to buy ourselves some equipment first, get better equipment, and we're so strong that we're just going to blaze through this, no problem. That's going to be great fun, especially because there are more of these blue flame enemies further in the dungeon. And that means one more level and then better equipment will definitely benefit us and will definitely enable us to get through this no problem at all. And then after that we actually have to go through the mine. That's going to be, let's say, rather annoying. Ah, come on, die! For Christ's sake. Still a little bit sad that they never ported East 2 to our Master System. I'd love to get that. I'd pay a fortune if anybody demands it, but there's no Master System version of East 2. They only made a very crappy Famicom port, which really sucks. It's really not. The Famicom port of East in general is pretty poorly made. And they changed the game in areas where the game didn't need any changing. Which always sucks, right? If the stuff that's absolutely fine gets changed to become pretty bad, then you're doing something wrong. But sadly there was no Master System version of East 2. It's only 400. Less than 400 XP actually, and then we'll have one more level up. This is a really good place to grind ourselves upwards. Yep. Almost there, almost there. Hey, I'm using that headset right now. That very same headset that I bought you is what I'm using right now for streaming. With the headset microphone and everything. So everything you hear is from a 25 € headset. That's, by the way, another thing that I probably have to invest some money on at some point, a better microphone. Ah crap, come on, die you! Ah. Yeah, we're almost there. Just one more enemy, and we have another level up. Nice, very nice. I'll get that in. Yeah, 12,800 XP. I don't think we're going to get that, and we're almost at level 10 anyway. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to town. Wait a moment. We have... Oh, but it's still giving 40 XP, so that's that. What we're now going to do is we're going to buy ourselves some new equipment. While murdering all these people here. Yeah, I mean, all of the Charcoon stuff is pretty budget, but the quality is usually very good. They're really offering some good quality at decent prices. It's not the cheapest stuff, it's definitely not premium, but I mean, if you can get a good mouse, a good headset and everything, all of that together for, let's say, 100 € or something like that, total, then that's good. So anyway, before we advance in the story, we go back to town now and buy ourselves some good equipment. And on the way there we can also kill a couple of monsters. They're not giving all that many XP. I think like 1 XP or something like that, so nothing to speak about, but they give around, I think, 4 to 10 gold per enemy, and if we can just pop them while walking down to town without too much interference, then that's just perfect. They can't hurt us, so not a biggie. The only thing I hope is that the game is not crashing. I had on my other Master System, I had issues with the game actually just going black. Then I cleaned the contacts a little bit and since then it's working just fine, but I'm always a little bit scared with this cartridge in particular that it bugs out. Nice, swoop through those guys. Still don't have a roller fruit. And we're back in town. Actually pretty interesting in Ys 1 on PC, if you buy the PC version on GOG. There is an additional town at the beginning of the game and all the doors in there are closed except for the ones that are story important. But I found out that there's actually, not kidding you, that there's actually a weapon store in there, which could open up at some point. The Talwar is a rare sword indeed. They come from a kingdom far to the east. 5,000 gold, yes, please give me that. Did I buy that? Yeah, I did. So... oh, sorry. I'm also getting the menus. So the equipment is right here. Actually now I have a fair amount of attack power, yeah, 115 instead of 105. 10 more. See how much does that cost? Oh, 5,000 as well. Okay, we can't buy that. It doesn't have the silver armor, I think. Nope. I think the large shield is 6,000. Yeah, the shield is always expensive. It's all beef shop. So. I think the best thing that we can do right now is try to find the key on the second floor. This guy still get a little bit of credits. No XP whatsoever. On the PC version of Ys 1 you can actually grind yourself to level 10 within 20 minutes on this part of the map right at the beginning of the game. And I did that when I streamed this game for the first time on PC. I actually did that because it runs like 4 or 5 times as fast as this. And the enemies always give you a fixed amount of XP. It's not getting any lower. It's not like you get 1 XP from the blue devils in the beginning. At some point you always get 10. And that meant I could just blast through it and then was level 10 before I went to the first dungeon and just killed it. Good evening, Will. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Make yourself comfortable and enjoy me running through the world of Ys 1. It's actually pretty interesting. I was watching Toxie yesterday, or 2 days ago I think. and she actually started to play Ys 6, the Ark of Nephistim. And she really fell in love with the Ys games, and I thought it's amazing because everybody should play Ys and everybody should like these games. They're just great. Well, I'm doing pretty fine myself. Still have a little bit to fight with, you know, the stuff that I was fighting with the whole last 2 weeks, but that's going a lot better now, and I'm feeling really well, I have to admit that. Feeling good. And that's what really matters, right? And I'm playing Ys. I mean, how can you not feel good when playing Ys? Yeah, I have to look into what I'm going to play after that on Master System Mondays. I already told it to Casey, Segapit up there, that at the beginning of the stream that I'm actually maybe going to change the format a little bit of Master System Monday, so that I'm not just showcasing the games but actually playing through them. Which would help a lot with me getting my Master System backlog a little bit in line. Now we're trying to get the fastest way up here. I think we have to go over here now. Get on the second floor, and then on the second floor we have to find the key. Yeah, that bloody thing over there. I hate those blue ghosts that are running around this part of the dungeon. Oh, it's good to hear that I want to see that, Will, because, like I said, that's really what I'm attempting. Right, I mean, it will most likely be all the RPGs and action adventures that actually have some sort of save functionality. Because I still don't think that I can finish something like Monsterland. You know, where I was playing before Ys. I don't think I can finish that because I'm not good enough. But I probably could work on stuff like the Dragon's Trap, Monster World, which is a great game, I love it. Could do that, definitely. And you're dead. And maybe Spellcaster. Spellcaster is a game I haven't shown that at all, I believe, on neither on Twitter much, not on here on Twitch. So maybe Spellcaster would be a good game as well. It does have the password save functionality. The password is a little bit tedious, but not that bad. Nice. So now that we have that key, we can actually go back to the first floor and open all the chests in the first floor. Oh wait, let's kill that guy up there. He's looking like he needs it. Nice. Yeah, we're fairly good at killing those blue ghosts as well. So now onto this floor, and let's open up all the chests. I hope there is the silver shield directly in that area. Because then we save a lot of money trying to get some of the other shields. We probably still should buy them. Like, we should buy the best equip other than the silver equipment. I'm not 100% sure anymore because it's been a long time since I've last played Ys 1, but I have the feeling that we lose all our silver equipment at some point in the game. A potion, that's good. Potions can heal you within a dungeon. They're pretty rare. I think you only find like 2 or 3 of them. So that's definitely something we need. So let's see. I think there were 3 or 4 chests in this part of the dungeon. We're going to kill everything that we run into. Because it can't hurt us anymore. Ridiculously overpowered. Ah, okay, it can hurt me a little bit, like 1 HP damage or so. Mask of Ice, that's exactly what we need as well. Ah, that's how you equip that. Yeah, now we everything is turned black and white. I actually like it a lot. Damn. Why am I not able to play this game in black and white? Oh, working stuff. That's always good. Work, 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 work. Now let's see, I think there was another chest somewhere in here. Up there. Oh, what are you doing here? Get lost. Silver bell, that's great. Actually quite funny, I just now I noticed why the silver bell was stolen, because it's made out of silver. Oh, I'm such a dummy at times. Never thought much about it. I always thought, yeah, it's a magical item, right? So he stole it. But it's a silver bell, it's made out of silver, that's why he stole it. Come on, die. I think I was really strong. I was stronger than the other blue ghosts. So I'm pretty sure there's silver equipment somewhere here. Maybe not in this floor. Yeah, we already opened that. You know, you guys working reminds me that I just had firearmed over here 41 minutes ago. So with the silver bell in hand, we can actually go back to Sepik village. I'm not the biggest fan of going forward and backwards all the time, but I just don't want to miss any of the quests or anything. Also, I got hurt. Kind of makes sense to heal myself up. Then search through the second floor completely and then move on to the next floors and see if we can find all the good equipment in this place. Let's go back to Sepik village. I always wondered how the quest ends, the silver bell quest ends when you do it in this version. So there's that. And there aren't all that many quests in Ys. It's not like a gigantic modern JRPG or whatever where you have like a million quests. And this is one of them. Yeah, but I mean in this case the backtracking is not all that bad. In general, I think there are only 2 dungeons where I ever got completely lost in Ys 1 on PC, and that is the mine and the the tower. Darm Tower. That's the only 2 places where I ever got lost. And Darm Tower I only got lost because all floors look exactly the same. And you have to count the doors where you enter. And then you have to recognize, even though this is a 2D game, you are actually walking in circles if you move too many doors. And that was a little bit hard. I think this has nothing to do with my bad sense of orientation. That's already bad enough, I know that. But it's also because of the game design in general, I think. Oh, that's the wrong house. Should be up here. There it is. Did Su recover the silver bell? What? The thieves didn't take it? It's underneath the temple. This is all very strange. But I must still reward thee. Please accept this ring. It's a family heirloom. This ring will give thee strength. And Aaron... yeah, Aaron gets the power ring. That's good. So right now we have 115 strength, right? And we equip that ring. we still have 115 strength. What? I always thought that this actually improves my statistic. Adol the Rat, the name is legendary. But why Aaron? I could have named him, I don't know, De Royne maybe. Isn't it nice when you're so strong that you can just walk past those guys and they just go whoop, and die. So now that we get through the first floor, we now have to go through the second floor and see if we can find anything there. Yeah, it does, and I think it's. I actually think it's. I still think it's a typo. It's in Soul Calibur 3. Apparently, a game that nobody except this underscores and me like. And in the strategy mode, one of the NPCs in the strategy mode of that game is actually called like that, and that's where I got my nickname from. And the des was just added because at some point all websites required your username to be at least 6 characters long. That's why I added that. Also, running through this dungeon like that, we made good progress. We made really, really good progress. Oh, wait, of course, there's no way there. I know that I don't have to go up here, but I think there wasn't anything there yet. You're dead. So now on to exploring the second floor. As a matter of fact, I'm actually really surprised that in this version of the game the dungeon is a lot wider and a lot more enjoyable to go through than in the PC version. Oh, definitely improved my strength, that's for sure. Just can't see it. But the dungeon is really a lot wider and there are less tight paths where you can actually accidentally run into an enemy without being able to, you know, get an offset. What do we have here? Aaron finds a necklace. Can anyone... Okay. I honestly have no clue what that necklace is for. I think I can sell. Maybe I can sell it in the store for some gold. That would be really useful. Because damn, I am a little bit tired of trying to grind money by just beating enemies. It's always nice if you can get yourself some extra money. Yeah, so that's the door upwards. Which we don't need. That was where the key was, and then to the right side there. We didn't go there yet. Definitely have to go here. Yeah, this is gonna be good. There's nothing here. Maybe we can. No, the mask doesn't show us anything here. I really like that black and white look of this whole thing. I don't know why. I think it looks really nice on stream. By the way, for anyone who's not familiar with East, you can't see enemies while wearing that mask. Right, so I will bump straight into any enemy that pops up here. Like that. There are not that many enemies in this game, and I'm already pretty damn strong. So I should be fine. But you never know. Especially since we've never went on to the 3rd floor. So let me just do that. Get rid of that thing. Now we see all our enemies again. Would be really funny if we could actually get a level up while grinding through the stage. Well, let's see what's up here. Yeah, new enemies, stronger enemies. This game is not joking around, that's for sure. Look this up. So that's where we came from, I think. Yeah. Let's go all the way to the right, and let's see. I don't know exactly on which floor I have to use the mask in order to find the secrets. We'll find it out. Oh. Those demons are not all that strong after all. Look at our status. Oh yeah, we're really close to getting another level up, so that's definitely fly in front of me. Definitely a good thing. Ooh, no. Okay, so there's a golden statue that will teleport us around. There's another one. Those. Holy shit! Did you see that? That's not good. That's so much not good. We did save the game before we went in here, right? So we're not losing too much progress. I'll die over here. Okay, so that's apparently everything there is, so we have to... I mean, we can always use the potion if we have to. But... do not fancy that. Let's first see where the golden statue brings us to. Hopefully that guy's... oh, they did respawn. So we killed him. Come at me, bro. Oh, crap. I'm inclined to use that thing. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, that's not good. That's so much not good. Should have saved before I went into that floor. Okay, that's another. Who was that? Whoa. I'm dead. Okay, we lost quite a fair bit of progress. We definitely have to grind a little bit more. So we definitely have to get to the second floor again and grind through all of this again and then see if we can get another level up and get ourselves the best equipment in the game. Before the silver equipment, that is. Ah, damn it. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, exactly, that's what he reminded me of. Or the lion in Wizard of Oz. I think it kind of looks like that. Yeah, those guys are no match for me anymore, but then on the third floor the enemies, they're like really back-fisting strong. That's... Ooh, not good. Not good. Thank you. Yeah, the Cowardly Lion, exactly, that was his name. That's what it kind of reminded me of when I looked at them here. The Wizard of Oz is actually a story that's more creepy than anything. But everyone who watched Supernatural knows that Dorothy actually existed and that she's a hunter. Sorry, I had to bring that in. I'm a big Supernatural fan. Okay, I think that was where the key for all the chests was actually in. And really all I'm doing in here right now is killing monsters so that I can get another level up and enough gold to buy myself the better armor. I mean, I do have enough gold, but I can't afford the armor and... Oh, is there actually... Can I look here with the mask? Oh no, there's nothing here. There's a lot less scrolling interference when you're in black and white. I'm just going to keep that. Damn, those guys were really, really strong. It's amazing. So I suppose it can't really hurt to keep on grinding. I don't want to waste a potion. And I'm definitely not going to try to fight enemies that can actually shave half of my health off with one critical attack. That's a little bit too much. I think you guys are fully with me when it comes to that. It's like, nope, 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 nope. Not like that. There really ain't anything in this part of the dungeon where you can use that mask on. Makes me a little bit sad. What can we do? That's live. Let's check this out. Have I ever been up here? Yeah, there was nothing there. So let's slowly go back, kill everything that's in here, and then go back to town and get ourselves the reflex armor. And maybe once we reach level 8, we also have enough money. Like I think we need 11,000 gold to buy the best stuff right now, and we have a little bit more than half of that. Let's just save the game for good measure. Because I'm quite a coward myself. Status, yeah. Probably won't get all that much money together because we somehow in this part of the game we grind a lot more experience than we grind money. Okay, maybe in combination with the necklace, if I can sell that for a good price, we can do it. But let's first grind to level 8. There we have no one. Only thing I'm a little bit sad about when doing series like this is, first of all, of course, the grinding is probably a little bit dull for you to watch. With the action-adventure games that I might be doing later on, it won't be all that bad because you can't really grind all that many levels. There are no levels, but you have to grind money in order to buy certain equipment pieces, armor, swords, etc, etc. But it usually goes in a fairly linear flow, not like this where you have to walk around quite a lot. However, the one thing I'm sad about there is that I don't have Golden Axe Warrior yet, which is arguably one of the best games for Sega Master System, especially when you think about RPGs or action adventures. But it's just so difficult to get in Germany. And as long as I constantly see people who buy Golden Axe Warrior on a garage sale for £5, I'm not going to invest 130 or 200 euros just to buy myself Golden Axe Warrior. That's absolutely crazy, and I really don't know if any of those guys ever sells this game for this much. Right? Even if it's in pristine condition, like almost never played, I wouldn't invest that much money. The last scalper who tried it actually had to go down to like, I think, 60 euros before somebody bought his Golden Axe Warrior copy, which was really beaten up. And I'm like, the guy who bought that is a complete idiot. Honestly, I don't even care what his reasons were. If you pay 60 euros for a beat up copy of Golden Axe Warrior, you're just an idiot, period. Not even as a collector I can understand that the game is not really rare. It always constantly pops up like 2 or 3 positions in eBay, Golden Axe Warrior. And all of them are like 100, 130, 200 euros. And I'm like, that alone should show you that if they constantly pop up like every week or every month, there are several copies available on eBay. No, and all the time they're like for more than 100 euros. I'm like, that should show you that the game is not all that rare. and not all that valuable, right? Like, if you have Wonder Boy Monster World, that's actually a rather rare game. It was a EU only release, and it came out pretty much at a time when the Master System was already dead, because the game was originally released for Mega Drive in 1993 and then backported to the Master System for the European market, exclusively for the European market. So that makes the game rather rare. And not too many people know of it, I think, at least not of the Master System version, so it's not like you will find that all the time on eBay, at least not in Germany. And then some other games that are more expensive are like Golvellius. I do think it sold well back in the days, but it's 1988 and it doesn't really pop up all that often, I figured. But none of these games, and that's the point I'm trying to make, none of these games was even close to 100 euros when I bought it. I did invest more than for my other Master System games, more like invested more for them than for Ys, for example, which is also a rather desirable game. They were a little bit more expensive. But those games are also pretty rare, and I still got them so much cheaper than any Golden Axe Warrior copy that's right now on German eBay, so... I don't get it. I don't think those guys are ever going to sell it at that price. Because nobody on his right mind would buy that. Honestly, don't do that. Just don't confirm the hopes of those scalpers that they can sell you an old game that is not really all that rare, but very desirable because it's a good game for that much money. I mean, really, for 200 euros you could almost buy yourself a modern game console. Like, what sort of investment is that when you buy an old game for that much money? It's ridiculous. I do understand everybody who wants to invest a little bit more in a certain rare game that's desirable, because collecting is fun, right? And you're willing to invest more money than you should. It's kind of standard. Yes, say no to the scalpers, but if things get this ridiculous, you shouldn't give them the assurance that there are always people who are going to buy anything for any price that you throw at them, just because the game has a certain desirability. I mean, really, you shouldn't. It's just like with the NES Classic Mini. I so much wanted to have one. And then I even missed the pre-order window on Amazon, right? And I just couldn't get it. I really wanted to have one because it's rather difficult to collect NES in Europe yourself. And then I was so frustrated. I was literally so frustrated that Nintendo is too stupid to build enough of those. Like, even the amount that they could theoretically sell or practically sell, they didn't build enough, and they never will. They stopped the production, obviously. And I was so angry at Nintendo that I built my own emulation machine with a 3D printed NES case and a Raspberry Pi inside. If you make your possible customers that angry, you screwed up. You screwed up big time. Oh, you think I could do that? I'm just trying to but the reason why I'm talking about stuff like that right now is because I'm only grinding, and there's not much else going on right now, so I'm trying to make it a little bit more entertaining while I'm popping enemies. Because one thing with Ys is, it's actually really fun to just run into enemies and kill them. But it's not fun to watch, and I know that. It's fun if you do it yourself, because you can really beat some time. But, that's why I'm trying to talk over it a little bit more with my opinion on retro game collecting. Because it is part of Master System Monday, isn't it? I didn't grow up back in the days. I was born in 1990, so pretty hard to grow up with games that came out in the mid-80s. And the reason why I'm playing them is simply because I learned to appreciate these old games a lot through the Master System. Still not a big fan of the NES, but can't say I particularly hate it. Podcast while you grind, yeah. I mean, you actually can host a certain, you can host podcasts on Twitch as well, right? So I just have to draw myself some background picture or something like that, and put that on stream and then make a podcast show out of that once a week. Maybe I could do that, would probably be really fun. Could get some friends on there, like you, Casey, or DK Retro, or anyone who's interested pretty much in something like that. Seriously need to think about it. It's actually a good idea, I think. But coming back to the topic of scalpers, the problem is that it's really out of hand. Like I said, I have no problem if there's a really rare and desirable game that you really don't find all that often and somebody sells it for like 60 euros or 65, maybe even 70 if it's in good condition, right? Like my Monster World copy that I have here is like new. I think it was only put into a Master System once before the guy put it back into the packaging. And it really looks like it only has some minor scratches on the outside plastic of the cartridge, which is normal. The Master System has a really tight cartridge slot, so you will always get some scratches on the plastic when you put it in. But there were so few on that cartridge, I was always like, man, is this like a reproduction or something? Was I victim of a fraud? But it's an original legit copy and it's in pristine condition. I paid 65 euros for it, I will say that. But I'm not going to pay 100 or more euros for any Master System game. Not even one. Not even once. Even if I had the money, I don't have it. So why should I worry? But even if I had it, I wouldn't do it. It's ridiculously crazy. Right, you can buy antique furniture that was owned by Napoleon for less than you can buy a Golden Axe Warrior for. Not that I have any use for Napoleon's desk or whatever, but yeah. When you know that the piss bottle of Napoleon is cheaper than Golden Axe Warrior, then yeah, something is wrong with retro game collecting. That something is really, really wrong with retro game collecting. Anyway, how close are we? Oh, we're really close actually as well. And we almost have 10,000 gold, so maybe if I can sell that necklace. I still have that necklace, do I? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Nice, so we got our level up and we have quite a lot of money, so let's go back. But yeah, I mean, you just have to watch some of those TV shows. I like to watch a TV show on German public TV, so reliable stuff, where they actually sell antique, where private persons sell antique or rare collectible items, physical items, to auctioneers, and to antique store owners. Right, so they pretty much auction it off in a small environment with only those 5 guys sitting there and betting on it. And that show is actually really good in that it teaches you a lot about collecting old and antique stuff, and you can pretty much apply the same rules to retro games, right? Except with one exception, no retro game on this planet is actually unique. Right, like even if you take the championship cartridge of from Nintendo, you know, that golden and the grey one with that little PCB on top. Even if you take that thing, they made several hundred of the grey one, and I think 8 or 10 of the golden one. That means it's not a unique item, and you can still find more than one copy of it. And that alone should actually pull the value of that thing down, but it doesn't, right? I think one of the gold cartridges sold for tens of thousands of euros or something like that. It's ridiculous. And that alone kind of shows that retro game collecting has gotten quite a bit out of hand in terms of prices, because if you watch those shows and you look at those physical items where some of them are unique, right, where you can't get something like that in that quality anymore, and it costs, and they pay like, it's like worth, what do I know, 500 euros maybe, 600 euros. Maybe if it's made out of some really high quality gold, then it's like 2000 euros. Some son of Prince of Nigeria, yeah. But you know what I mean, right? If you have like physical item that's antique and it's made at really high quality, and you won't get something like that a second time when you have it in front of you, and it's like 2000 euros, maybe 3000 euros worth. And then you know that there were games, mass-produced pieces of plastic and resin with a little bit of gold inside that sell for like 10,000 euros, 15,000 euros, and I'm like, why? Why? Tell me. I don't get it. Ah, damn. Ah, nice, you can sell a necklace. 500 gold piece, okay, I get it. Damn, we're actually really close. The PCB contacts are usually golden. It's like not much, but a little bit. Okay, she's still alive. I just want to check if she is still there. Yeah, but when you go to an auction, you also always have expected prices, right? And you can set a minimum price for anything practically. So let's see, reflex. Made from special material, reflex is light but strong. Yes. It's a little bit annoying. Why does that have to be 6,000? We still need quite a bit of gold. I know at 120 defense, this should be good enough. I think we can make it. Without a large shield, and then we'll buy the large shield once we're finished that dungeon. So let me just look real quick. Yeah, 25,600 XP to level 9. That's a lot, and the enemies in the silver mine are also really strong. I highly doubt we can defeat those guys. Maybe we can check it out if you like. We can take a look at the silver mine as well, real quick. That's it, and I think there's actually an enemy up here to the left. Oh, there it is. Well, what can I say? That escalated quickly. Yeah, and they hurt a lot. Okay, definitely won't stay longer in here than I have to. Don't want to die again. It was quite an eye-opener, wasn't it? As in, you really have to be on level 10 in order to get through there. Yeah, exactly, etchings are also golden, that's true. Just trying to cover here, and I think we should be able to get through the 3rd floor now. If the enemies in the mines cannot kill us with 2 hits, then that means the enemies up there won't be able to kill us any quicker as well, so that's a good sign. Unless they're magically stronger than the enemies in the mines, which I highly doubt. Man, I really hope that at some point I'm able to get myself this open source scan converter. I think it's 156 pounds. So quite a bit cheaper than an XRGB Mini, and it should also work a lot better with, especially with old consoles, like my Master System. The only question that remains open is, will it work with my monitor, or will it work with my capture card? I don't know that. The capture card itself should support normal TV output, but what I was really going for was the line tripling output, where you get sort of 720p, which I think should look pretty damn amazing. If it works. Right, even on the website it says, yeah, this line tripling stuff only on supported monitors or only on supported TVs, and most of them apparently don't support that sort of thing. And I do know that my monitor here does not support video output resolution, so no 480p, no 576p, I think that was PAL. If you translate it to pixel format. So I know that this doesn't work with my Lenovo monitor. I haven't tried it out with my BenQ monitor. So I can still swap things around here if I have to. But yeah, this will require a bit more testing. If I ever get one, that's the first question. Will I get one? And if I get one, can I make it work? If it works, and if I can make it work, then I'm definitely certain I can give you a lot better quality output and a lot better quality streams of my Master System. So things will look less crappy. But if not, this is what we have, and it's not as good as if I'd be using an emulator, but I think better than nothing, and it's on legit hardware, which means I can use my beloved Master System controller, which is a controller I really enjoy using. So let's get butter to the fishes here, as we'd say in Germany. Let's see how much they hurt us. Also, there's actually something with that wall. I'm not sure if it's... I'm dreaming that? Ah yeah, I just thought, you know, it's like, it looked so blue on my screen that I was thinking maybe there's something there. Okay, he hit me and didn't hurt me much at all. That's a good sign. Let's see how much those guys hurt. Ah, they still hurt a lot. Damn. let's just avoid them. We don't have to kill each and every enemy. Why are those guys so tough? Oh. Yeah, we're about to die. What does that bring me? Oh, great, now I found the silver shield. Yeah, and I'm dead. Okay, so that means we have to be a lot more careful. Try to get the silver shield first before we die, and just look at that. Yeah, it's definitely going to help us, but Jesus Christ. Like, those guys do not really do any damage to us, right? But the lion type of enemies and those sort of evil knight type of enemies, they're hurting us a lot. Let's first see that we can get the silver shield. That should buff our defense. Like, those guys, they look like a lion, don't they? Nice, got him. I'm not going to bump into that guy. Go to hell. Ah, I hate that. You know how quickly those fuckers actually run upwards. Nice. So, equipment. There it is. Silver shield. Yep, 140 defense, that should be good. Is there anything else in here? Not really, okay. Oh! Yeah, but now they're not all that strong, are they? Damn. I hope there was an entryway here. There wasn't. This is not. No, I already went here. I think I accidentally walked in circles. Now with the silver shield, the things are a lot easier, I think. Let me see, something in here? Or is it just a way back? Yeah, it's just a way back. But let's do that, because there was this other statue over here. Yes. I want to bump into see where it brings me. What's that? Finds an ivory key. I know that we definitely need an ivory key, but I don't know for what. I want to be honest there. Whoa. I see. You still have to go in here. Hey Baron, welcome to the stream. This is Ys, the very first Ys game on Sega Master System. Nope, nothing here. Oh crap. Oh yeah, it is very cool, but I'm also a little bit on the failing side right now because I struggled with some of the enemies. That's why I lost so much health. I'm not sure where the final boss pops up. However, we did find the ivory key and the silver shield, so that's good. Good sign. And look at that. I've already been over there. I'm going to ignore that stupid line. This looks incredibly familiar. I'm right now navigating through this maze here. Found a marble key. With Sega wanting to make more from their older IPs to years to come, what from the older franchise would you like to see, and which ones do you think will do well in the current market? Well, from what I know from our good friends at Retro Game Geeks, Sega did offer the Wonder Boy IP to one of the original developers to make a brand new Wonder Boy game. So not the remake that we know today, but a brand new Wonder Boy game, which I think could do well. Action adventures are still extremely popular, and if they can sort of catch this old Wonder Boy spirit in a more modern package, I think that could do extremely well. Another game that I don't know if it's going to do well, that I personally like to see again would be Spellcaster. You know, Spellcaster used to be a game series, or the first Spellcaster game practically was a game where you combined action side-scrolling with point-and-click adventure elements. And I think that could hold a lot of virtue for, let's say, at least small-scale games. And I really think that if Sega wants to revive some of their IPs or make some money out of it, they should give the rights to those IPs to smaller development studios, so not do it themselves, except if they're really planning on doing a AAA game with their old IP. If they're planning to do that, absolutely fine, they can do that. Good luck. But if they're just trying to monetize a bit on their old IPs and do something for the fans by bringing that back, then I think they should, to make this really work, they should hand it out to smaller development studios and leave the risk to them, because smaller development studios, they can start crowdfunding campaigns, right? A company like Sega can't start a crowdfunding campaign, so they have to finance all of their development efforts completely by themselves. And I think for a lot of the old Sega IPs, that's simply not worth it. Because it's a very risky thing, right? Not many people remember that a game like Spellcaster even existed, no matter how good or great it was. And same with Wonder Boy, right? I don't think a game like Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap could have had a remake if it wasn't for Sega giving the rights out to the naming rights out to a different company. Wait, what are we doing here? Where are we? Shouldn't have looked away. Right now everything looks exactly the same to me here. Like, did I accidentally go back? Looks like it, right? Yeah, I accidentally went back. Oh, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, I think something like Spellcaster would be great. I think there's still a lot of virtue into mixing certain genres that, hey, crying out loud, that do not fit together on first glance. So I think that's a great thing to do. Excuse me. And other than that, Wonder Boy obviously, and maybe Alex Kidd. I mean, we had this discussion on Twitter, right? But the thing with Alex Kidd is that the whole collectible genre, like you said, a game within the collectible genre could work well for Alex Kidd. But the collectible genre itself is not all that popular. If you're honest to yourself and to everybody else, even games like Yooka-Laylee, which had extremely good reviews, but there was also a lot of criticism with the game, and a lot of the criticism did not really come from Yooka-Laylee being a bad game, but simply because people, especially some self-declared critics, in the so-called gaming media or gaming press, simply didn't understood what this whole genre is about and criticized all the things that actually make this game the game that it should be. Except for the mushy controls. The mushy controls are a problem with Yooka-Laylee, but it's not that bad that you would have to start a riot or anything over it. That's kind of the deal, but that could be a good way to reboot that IP, I think. Wait. Was that door there before? We found it. Oh, and by the way, that door literally only exists when you have... Oh, Spellcaster is a great game. It's one of my favorite Master System games, actually, and it did have a sequel. Many people don't know that, but there was a sequel of it. It was called Mystic Defender on Mega Drive. Wait a moment. I know what you're thinking, but I know exactly what's coming now. I probably shouldn't have used that potion here. Oh yeah, that's what we need all those keys for. Oh, I was looking forward to that boss. Hey, wait. Did that... Hopefully that thing appears again. Hey, why is that guy so fucking fast? It's the easiest boss in the game, always was. Aaron finds Book of Ease. Isn't that great? I spent this whole stream trying to find the Book of Ease, and then now I've finally done it. Yeah, Mystic Defender is not as good as Spellcaster. They actually went away from adding this point-and-click adventure stuff. They removed a lot of the interactive storytelling because of that and made it one of the hardest side-scrolling action games on Mega Drive. Literally, it's almost impossible to even make it through the first boss. And if you look on retroachievements.com, you will actually see that all the achievements for Spellcaster give you a shit ton of points. Simply because it's close to impossible to play through it. I'm not kidding. I really hope I didn't miss anything else in here. Now we have to move back. We defeated the boss, which was really easy. He's actually, my personal opinion is he's weaker than the normal enemies in this level. But we got him. Now we have to kill Simba and... in retro... crap. Trying to get out of this is actually more difficult than trying to get in. I wish I bought the item that actually kicks you out of any dungeon in the town. There is an item like that. There's rents. Ah, come on, I'm not renting that much. Only if there's a very good reason to do so. I know it was a weak defense, but you get what I mean, right? Yeah, probably. Because I'm actually about to... Oh, come on, over there, that's where we have to go. I wish there was a secret door here. But when I walk through this in black and white, first of all it looks a lot nice, and second of all I don't see all the enemies. There it is. So now we got this book, let's move down and back again. I also never noticed how red this roof in here is. Also, please somebody tell me I found all the items in this area. Yeah, that's exactly where we have to go. Kill that guy. I believe the other silver items are all in the mine. Not 100% sure about that, but I think they're all in the mine. So the silver sword, the harmonica actually is actually also pretty funny. Rhea is playing on a silver harmonica, so that's why the dark cloaked dude who's stealing all the silver stuff stole her harmonica. And that thing is hidden in the mine. I'm pretty sure that the silver sword is hidden there and the silver armor as well. And we need to find all the silver equipment, otherwise we can't beat the final boss. And the game hints that quite often, that silver equipment is kind of important. Also, we're so damn close to getting to level 9. Which means we're really close to getting to level 10 as well, and that means it's really only about getting that equipment, not about grinding levels anymore. So part 3 of Ys should be a lots more straightforward than what you've seen today. I will still play for a couple of minutes. I at least want to get back into town, want to buy the last shield. Even though I already have the best shield, I still think we're going to need the other equipment. Like reflex, like the long sword or the talvar. And the heavy armor that we have. I think those are all items that we're going to need later on. Don't want to spoil it too much, even though I've already streamed the game, but you get the idea. If you've seen my old stream of Ys 1 on PC, then you know what I mean. Nice. So, save the game. I don't think we can actually read the book at this point. In a strange lettering, Aaron cannot read it. Also, I believe for anyone who've actually played Ys Origins, Hadal should be a familiar name. That's one of the reasons why I never recommend playing Ys Origin first. I always recommend playing some of the later Ys games, like the Oath and Felghana, or maybe the Ark of Nephistim first. And then, once you've done that, you should play Ys 1 and 2, and then maybe Ys Origin. Of course, in the end, I also played Ys Origin first, and then the Ys 1, Ys 2, and then Ys 3. But I think if you're really picky about getting spoiled a lot, and having too much of a clue what's going on in a game before actually unraveling it yourself, the events yourself, then I think the best order would be play some of the later Ys games, then you have no clue who Adol is, but that doesn't matter. And then Ys 1 and 2, so you get the basic setup of who Adol is. And then Ys Origin to understand what is actually going on in this game. Or read the manual. So now, since we're in Sepik, let's first go to her and let's talk to Jabba. I fear that Zara's life is in danger. I'm very frightened for her. That is one of the books of Ys. Who can not possibly have the ability to read it? Shall I read it for thee? Yes. Which should I read? I only have that one. Ys once flourished because of a metal called yeah, it should read Cleria, not Creria. I think that's because of the Japanese thing that in Japanese R and L are the same characters. Right, they do pronounce R like an R, and they do pronounce L like an L, even though L is pretty rare in Japanese, but yeah, in the later games they translated it differently. The great temple in the hills was a reflection of that prosperity, and then the great trouble began. That is one of the books of Ys. Who can not possibly have read it? Okay, so that's what's inside the book. And I will go back to the town And once I'm back to town, I will do a short break, if that's okay with you, and maybe stream another hour or so, if that's fine. If you guys are interested in seeing a little bit more today, then I'd stream a little bit longer than I normally would. Oops, got stuck here. Because I'm still on call shift tomorrow, and I've registered myself for the afternoon shift, so I can sleep a little bit longer, don't have to stand up all that early, which means I can stream a little bit longer on Monday. And before I do my break, on Wednesday actually, I will not only do my Ultima stream, later that day I'll be on Hatnick's Smashcast channel. He's streaming on Smashcast, not on Twitch, and we'll be streaming or playing Torchlight 2 together in a big German multiplayer. Okay, the stream will be in German, but I think it could still be worth tuning in, even if you can't speak German. So just wanted to say that. Let me first get the better shield, or the last shield that we have that set up, and then I go to visit Zara. Then I'm going to save the game. Yeah. Yes, give me that. Sure. Then we go to Zara, then save the game, then put the game on pause, do a short break of like 5, maybe 10 minutes. Could be a little bit longer than normally, but oh, Hitbox was actually forged together with another service. That other service bought Hitbox, and that became Smashcast. So it's still the same thing. If you have a Hitbox account, you can log in with that account on Smashcast. So as long as you had a Hitbox account, nothing happened to it, because the infrastructure underneath is still Hitbox. Okay. Through Iron, I have some terrible news. Sarah has been killed. It's very sad. Take this book. Sarah left it with me in case anything should happen to her. Her dying words were, "Head for the old mines." Aaron gets Book of Ease. So, let's save the game. Minia, and let's press pause. Yeah, Sarah got killed. Yeah, it's really sad. Or a dark cloaked man. But anyway, I'll be right back. Sorry. Got a call from my mother. Oops. Hope there wasn't too much on the stream. I forgot to put the desktop audio down. Anyway, let's continue with the game, and let's just forget about that. Great, now I have to think about if I should really upload this to YouTube. Probably have to download the stream and cut that part out. Oh, wait, wrong side. Also something, while we walk up to the mine, I think we could also check out the part on the right side of this map here. Because I think there was one chest there that we couldn't open before. not here. So let's check that out. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe that chest doesn't exist in this version of the game. Yeah, extremely possible it's not here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So let's get back to Sepik Village and let's read the second book of Ys. And I think you should also get, at some point, get some goggles or something that would allow you to read through the books yourself. Yep. And Tova, Book of Tova. At that time, Ys was ruled by 2 goddesses and 6 high priests. The goddesses were the source of life for everybody and symbolized the strength of Ys. That is one of the books of Ys. Yeah, okay, I think we got it. Talk to Fina. Oh, thank heavens who art safe. Leave. So let's save the game. And let's move on to the mine. The mine is actually really difficult to navigate through because you can't see all that much, and you really have to get through all of it to get all the silver equipment in there and find all the secret items, including the harmonica. So I'll probably be playing for another hour or so. And then, like I said, before I upload this to YouTube, I will cut out the part where I got the call. Really sorry about that. Ouch. It's not easy to navigate through this. And we're still not at level... wait, let me check. Yeah, we're still at level 8, so I guess once we're at level 9 I would go out again and heal up. Let's see if we can... actually, sorry. Train ourselves to level 10. Nice. Finds a timer ring. I'm not sure what that does. I think it does either make me faster or the enemy slower. That's all there is here. Hmm. Don't think I actually want to go in there, but let's check it out anyway. Yeah, let's see if we can actually get out again. Ah. I will probably die. What's that guy doing there? Why does this dungeon have to be so frigging long, and why do the enemies have to be so frigging strong? I'm going to ignore that guy. Oh wait, what's that? Found another potion. Still not exactly what I was looking for. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, that escalated pretty quickly. I'm sorry. Ah, this part is really tough. I think the first thing we probably have to do is grind ourselves to level 10. That's most likely what we really need right now. And then try to find all the other silver equipment. So let me save here so we don't have to walk this path all the time. Heals. So we know in the upper left corner there's a potion. That's something we need. Ah, come on, how did that hit me? Holy shit, yep. And we're instantly going back and healing up. Status, 150, 150. And there was this timer ring, which I think we don't really need at this point. I don't think that ring did anything positive for us. The power ring was a lot better. Nice. So let's look at our status. We're at level 9, we need 51,200 XP to get to level 10. That's a long way to go. Those guys are not doing all that much damage anymore to us, so maybe we can actually make it. There's nothing down here, no. It's a little bit tough trying to memorize the map here out of your head, but it's also difficult even if you went like full old school and started to draw a map yourself. That would be a rather large map, right? And this dungeon here is like the dungeon you have to go through anyway, before you reach Dam Tower. So it has to be difficult because it's one of the last dungeons, and here you find all the equipment that you need in order to move on. Oh, nice. Silver armor, we found it. Equipment. We got a silver shield, we got a silver armor, that's good. So we now have 160 defense, that's really great. I'm going to save the game, by the way. Save part 3. Mines. There's nothing here. As you can see before, the last time when we just rushed in here and tried to go through this more quickly, we actually had the problem that we didn't find this, for example, right? Because we can't see all that much, the navigating is rather hard. Let's go down first, let's not go up too much. No, they're still doing quite a bit of damage. Let's see what we have here. Really easy to get lost. I think that's now walking back. Yeah, it is, so that's good. Now the last silver equipment we still need is the silver sword. And while trying to find that in there, we have to grind ourselves to level 10. Which in combination will probably also mean that those guys are not able to do any damage to us whatsoever once we reach level 10 and have all the silver equipment. And we should be able to rather easily kill them with the silver sword. Then we have so much attack power together with the ring that actually improves our strength. Should work out for us. Ah, come on. That guy's still doing quite a lot of damage. Same for those caterpillars down here. Let's see, there was also a potion somewhere here? Yeah. There it is. Save again, just so that we don't lose any progress. There's nothing else in here. Nothing over here. Where was that stupid path? think, up here. Oop, it's just another cave with a... What the fuck? I'm pretty sure this is walking back, yeah it is. So that's not where we want to go. I mean this, since this has several floors that we have to move, walk through. There are also some items on the next floor. And right now I'm a little bit confused as to where to go. To the right here. It's looking good. We bumped into that caterpillar before. We can go to the left or to the right. No, this is just... oh no, wait. Ah, there you go. Like I said, with that small view range that you have in this dungeon, it's really difficult. Kill that monster. Yeah, and I think we've discovered everything that there is. Still one monster we have to kill. Yeah, that's all there is. And I have to move on. Oh, next monster that we haven't encountered before. Actually a little bit sad that there's no bestiary in this version of the game. There's nothing here, nothing there, and nothing here either. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, nice! We found a Rhoda fruit. That's useful. Definitely sorry for that squeaking. Can move down here now. Yeah, that guy was really strong. Here. Oh crap. Gotcha. Well, they could have made this a little bit smaller. Yeah, that guy's blocking the way in there, so let's first move over here and see what we have on that side of the dungeon. Hey, wait, how did I move through that guy? Found the harmonica. Oh, crap. Oh, come on, he killed me. Damn. Yeah, but grinding to level 10 at this point would be way too long. Ah, damn it. That dungeon is really tough. We still have to find that one way down there. Forgot where it was. Not over here, obviously. Damn it. There it was. So what I tried to do is I'd actually try to find the harmonica for this part of the stream in the Rhoda fruit again. If I can do that, that is. So let me look something up very quick. We know up there to the left is where we need to go. Let's see if there's anything down here. No, I don't think so. Just confusingly big, that's all. Those guys always hit me because whenever I bump into them, right before that happens... I got a Rhoda seed. Right before that happens, they always move up. And then I bump straight into them. I really need to find that harmonica though, and then I'm try to make a run for it. And bring it back to Rhea. No, I'm going to avoid those guys right now. What's that? That's that guy up there. We already know that those guys are really tough, and that we struggle to defeat them at this point. Yeah, look at that. Oh, come on, what the fuck? Those guys piss me off. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Really am. No, wait. Because really, that's a little bit annoying. But I have to find the roller fruit anyway and then the harmonica. That's where I want to end the stream, when I give the harmonica to Rhea. That would be the perfect ending for the stream, I think. So, and then I have to find a software, which I kind of did that little call out. Oops. Ah, come on. Oh, come. Really? Let's try to avoid it. No, he doesn't want me to avoid him. Ooh, thank you for the host, Monster Cookiemon, and welcome to everybody who just tuned in. We're still playing Ease, we're failing pretty damn hard. So, got myself the roller fruit. Actually, let me just see, where do I still have... Let's take this as a save point, so that we don't have to restart all over again and just try to get through this without getting murdered. So maybe there's a quicker path to the harmonica. Yeah, going through the middle. Maybe that will work. In here. Just trying to avoid those stone eyes. That's really what I'm planning here. Nope. Nice! I think we've actually found a quick path over there. Let's see what's to the right. Damn those plants. Wait, ooh, no, we accidentally went too far. We went further in instead of going back. Oops. It's my fault. Those guys, seriously. And I'm dead again. Oh. Oops. Sorry. It was my fault. So again, we found a roller fruit, and let's try it. We can actually go again through the middle all the way to the left, and then up, and then down again, and that we get this out as quickly as possible. No, that's the wrong guy. We have to go to the left. There should be the harmonica. There it is. Found it. Okay, so we got that. I think I got this. Let's go up. And up. Yeah, that's right. So really hope I actually back to... Yeah, this looks right. Yep, so we finally found a way back, so now we have to go out and then we go back to the town and give Fina her harmonica. I don't think you have notes, additional notes in here, in this version of the game. I think that's exclusive to the more advanced versions that came later. And then I have to find some way to get this stream up to YouTube. Whew. So. Let's heal up first, then we can go back, and then I think that's perfect time to end the stream. And while I'm healing up, actually. Okay. I've been streaming for 2 hours and 38 minutes. With the break in between that I'm going to edit out when I upload this to YouTube. Normally I stream on Mondays, like I said, normally I don't stream all that long on Mondays, but I think that after doing what I'm doing now would be just a perfect time to end, because I feel like it, and I'm not going to finish the mine anyway. I'm not really in the mood to get the mine done. Thank thee for finding my harmonica. It was in the abandoned mine. What on earth was it doing there? But no matter, I shall reward thee with a song. Damn, I wish Rhea's theme song would play all the time. So let's save the game here. Finish. And that's it for today, guys. I still have a moth flying around here. So I hope you enjoyed the stream, and let me just check real quick if there's anybody else streaming right now whom I could host. Excuse me. And actually, Perpetual MM is streaming right now, and Dark Saber Decay is streaming as well, so who should I host? Difficult decision. I think Perpetual MM is a nice guy, so if you like, you can join him. Great streamer, also produces lots of retro gaming stuff. I think right now he's playing Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. So if you want to join him, please do so. Otherwise, I wish you a pleasant Monday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. And I hope to see you again on Wednesday, when we're going to continue our adventure through Ultima, and then later on Hatnick's channel with Torchlight 2. So good evening and bye bye.